So you're thinking about joining the Amazon CamperForce team for the 2021 season.
Well, Amazon's made some changes since last year, so stick around and see what's new.
Welcome back to the channel, fellow roadies. Yes, today's topic is CamperForce for the 2021 season.
And just as a reminder, this is only an update as to changes that Amazon has made since last year. It's not a comprehensive CamperForce tutorial.
And let's just get into it. What we consider the #1 biggest change this year is how your campsite gets paid for. Last year, we can speak to last year, you got paid $550 per month. That went straight to the campsite and you never saw that money. CamperForce or Amazon paid your campground directly because it was part of your application where you were going to be staying. This year, each individual that's working for CamperForce will get $120 extra a week in their payroll check as a stipend for their campground. That's $120, but it means that it's going to be taxed. So it's going to get taxed with your income, but you have the opportunity to stay at any campground you want. As in previous years, they only had select few participating in the CamperForce, so you had to choose from those select few. This gives you a little bit more flexibility to go where it is that you want to camp.
So hopefully that does help you, because last year all the participating campgrounds in our area were more than the $550 allotment that Amazon paid the campground. So we ended up paying an extra $105 for our site.
So yes, last year we did pay out of pocket, and that was 2 of us. We could have made a little bit more money. Roughly, if we're going on a 4-week month system, there will be more pay periods or whatever. But that means that before taxes, he would have gotten $480 and I would have got $480 in that month time. So we probably could have made money instead of paying out of pocket. This may mean that the park fees may go up. This may be something that detours the single CamperForce workers.
Right, because even the single workers last year would get the entire $550. This year they're only going to get $120 per week, and their campground site still may be $600-700 a month. The #2 biggest change that we noticed this year is now they're offering part-time opportunities in addition to the full-time opportunities they've always had in the past. Now this is great because with part-time employment, you are not required to work any more than 30 hours, and it could be very less than that. They do use what they call a sort schedule, that's S-O-R-T, and we don't know exactly what the definition of a sort schedule is, but it is at sorting facilities, and they said a sort schedule normally is 4 hours, but it can flex 1 hour in either direction. So it could be 3 hours or 5 hours. You won't be required to work more than 2 sort schedules per day, and you won't be scheduled for more than 6 sort schedules a week.
So within that, when it does allow you 2 sorts per day, that doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. You can't exceed 12 hours in that day. So you can't work more than 12 hours in that day, which I don't see how it could add up, as the most is 5. So I don't know how it could even add up to 12. But I'm going to give you what I think, just before we move on to #3, what I think a sort schedule is. I think a sort schedule is for those people working or like you said, that are going to school. It gives you that flexibility to work like a half schedule and go to school. But that when I hear about the 2 in 1 shift that could possibly happen, that kind of in my mind relates more to like a split shift. Like you may come in and work 6 to 10, then go home and come in and work like
2 to 6.
Yeah, 2 to 6, something like that. That is what I kind of think, like if you had 2 sorts in one day. That's kind of what my gist of it is. Once again, the link will be in the description. You can go to the actual website and see make your own determination what you may think it is.
And the other benefit to working part-time is you get the same exact benefits as the full-timers. So you will receive your end of assignment bonus that you're going to get. You're still entitled to the medical and pharmaceutical benefits that they offer after 90 days, and you still get overtime. You
can work overtime. You can work, even though you're scheduled for part-time, you could possibly work voluntary extra hours. You may not get to overtime because it'll be over 40 hours, so you may not get 40 hours, but you can work voluntary overtime if it's offered.
And you get your full CampPay.
So the third and final, what we think is the biggest change this year is the locations. Now, it's not so much that there is locations. There's always been locations, and there's some repeat locations in this one. What I mean by that is there's only going to be specific locations that's going to offer the part-time, full-time. So there's going to be 23 participating facilities this year, according to the website. And out of those 23, 19 of them will be for only full-time, and that's it. So it kind of narrows it down for the part-timers again. So for the ones that are going to offer any part-time shifts, it's going to be the facilities that are in Hillsboro, Oregon. There's one in Aurora, Colorado, and one in Baltimore, Maryland. Those will be the only three. Well, actually, they're not three. They're just doing part-time only. And then there's going to be one in Memphis, Tennessee that's going to offer part-time and full-time positions there at that facility, which could be good for the families that may need someone that may only want to work a part-time shift and the other one wants to work full-time. You may have kids or whatever the case may be. So once again, this is not a straight-up tutorial. This is not a comprehensive review. This is just what we think is the biggest updates or the biggest changes between at least last year, the 2020 season, and the 2021 season.
And we are going to put a link in the description below, and that's where you can go to find out more about CamperForce 2021. It's got an FAQ section in there. Definitely check that out. It is more robust than it was last year and answers almost all your questions.
And then you'll see at the bottom, once you go to that link, there's going to be a $125 referral that you can get if somebody, your name has to be on the application, your full name, and that individual needs to work at least 30 days.
30 days in their contract.
In their contract. So that's going to wrap up what we consider the three biggest changes between CamperForce last year and CamperForce this year. Once again, remember, the link's going to be in the description, so if there's anything that we didn't explain well, you can go to that link, which will send you to their web address, and you can go to their frequently asked questions or the FAQ questions and get the answers you need, or you can put them in the comments below, and we'll try to help you out as best as possible.
And you can also apply for your Amazon CamperForce job right there at that link.
So until the next video,
where will the road take you?
See y'all.
Bye.